Hi everyone, my name is Satish and I'm the project manager for CreatorSuite. Today, I would like to go through how we can deploy a model using CreatorSuite. First of all, thank you all for watching our how-to series. Kindly like, subscribe, and follow us on all our social media pages. Alright, let's get started. First, let's visit the website www.CreatorSuite.AI. So I'm already here. We proceed by clicking login. So if you're already logged in, it signs you in automatically. So now we are in our home page. This is our home page, and for a typical ML workflow, there's a few steps that includes in the workflow. There is data gathering, data pre-processing and post-processing, the conditional logics, and then the running of the models, and also monitoring the model outcome. In CSF, you can visualize and build your ML workflow from start to end. With over 50 pre-built elements in the workflow, you can easily build a simple ML workflow such as a face detection in just a few minutes. As you can see on our homepage, we have included a simple way for you to remember the steps of creating a workflow in CreatorSuite. So for today, let's start with deploying a face detection model. Today's video will be based on the example provided in the documentation, and I will suggest everyone watching to have a look at our documentation and follow along. You can access the documentation by clicking the question mark symbol here. It brings you to the documentation, and all you have to do to go under examples and click face detection. This is the tutorial we will be following. So let's get back to our home page. So as you can see on our home page, we have included a simple way for you to remember the steps for creating a workflow in a CreatorSuite. For a successful face detection workflow, first we will start by adding a rule chain. So let's go to the rule chain. Okay, now we have the rule chain page, right? And we click add rule chain, create a new rule chain. Let's put this as face detection. All right, let's add the rule chain. Let's open up the rule chain. You can open up the rule chain by clicking this open rule chain symbol, or you can click here and just excuse me, click open rule chain. So let's open up the rule chain. All right, so for face detection, you will need a few nodes on the chain. So we start with the input profile node. So we already have the input node here. Let's start with the input profile node. You can drag and drop this anywhere you want. All right. Let's name the input profile node as input profile node, I guess. Right. Add. And then the next step to usually connect the chains, the nodes, is to use a chain as so. And you're done. First step is complete. All right. So what is the input profile node? So basically its function is to process inputs, in this case images. We will add the input type later under the input section. So let's proceed to the next node. The next node will be a message type switch node. Let's search for it. It's a filter. All right, I'm gonna add it here. Let's name it message type switch. All right. So let's connect this same way. This time we choose success. Add. So what is success here? Success here is basically the same as true in any logical operation, right? It's the same. So once we get the message type, so what does actually message type switch does? So message type switch node just routes the incoming messages by the message type. That's it, right? So so once we get the input profile node, send the data to the message type switch. Next, it will be sent to another node, which will be image to array node. Right. So it's a transformation node. So let's put a transformation script here. Oh yeah. So let's name it h2 convert to array. I think would be better. Right. All right. So the input that we will be getting is an image. So let's change it to image. The output will be an input for the next node, right? The size, we change it to 320 by 240. The rest we can keep it as a default and click add. Now you have this node here. We will connect the switch to the transformation node. So let's connect the switch to image to array node. And this is a post telemetry node. So why post telemetry? So post telemetry, we created the post telemetry relationship so that only telemetry data will be received by the image to array node, right? So let's go ahead and add. So from here you get the image, then you route the message type and you send to the image to array node. So in the image to array node, the image will be converted to a n-dimensional array for further processing. So after this will be the main node, which is the model node. So this will be a AI model. Let's drag and drop it. All right. The node name is face detector. All right. So now we can choose the type of models we want to use. Included in the free account, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 5 different types of. We have 2 object classifications. We have 5 different types of models included in the free account. So today, since we are doing face detection, let's choose face detection. These models are available in your resources library. If you want to use your own models, you feel free to upload them into the resource library. We support up to 25 different architectures. Yeah, you can upload them from DL4j to Onyx models. You can upload them into your resource library and deploy them here. So let's go ahead and choose face detection. So for the inputs and outputs, the input is correct, but the output we need to change it to boxes and scores. Well, boxes is for the bounding box and the score is for the probability scores, right? But how do you actually know what value to actually add here, right? This may be a bit confusing, and I will after we are done with the rule chain, I will show you all how to know which are the inputs and outputs. Right, so let's add this chain node here, and let's go ahead and connect it. As always, success. All right. So what will be the next step? All right. The next step is to add a script node. What is the function of the script node? The script node basically allows you to use any scripts in the rule chain. In this case, we will be using a JavaScript to draw bounding boxes. So let's add the script node. So we're gonna use transformation script node. All right, and select bounding boxes as the name, since that's what we will be doing. So for the script itself, we have already included in the documentation. Let's scroll down all the way to the script node number 5. Select this, go down, and you'll see the JavaScript here. Just copy that, go back to your toolchain, paste it in, and if it's your own custom script, you can actually test the script. Otherwise, we can just add it in, and I'm going to proceed to just add it in. All right, and then as always, let's just connect it. Boom. Success. We are done. All right. Next is since we already have the script for selecting the bounding box, now we need to actually draw the bounding box. So let's find a node for bounding box. There you go. That's the draw the bounding box node. Name, draw bounding box. All right, so image is correct. The rest, maybe I'm going to put it as green. So as you can see, it's highly customizable. You can choose whatever parameters you want, but I'm going to leave it at default. Yep, I'm going to leave it at default, and let's proceed to add this in. Let's connect the chains. Success. Add. Done. All right. So the last step to this is to add the save time series node. Let's add the save time series node. All right. Let's we have the save time series node. Let's add it here. Save output is the name. Add it. Let's connect the chain. Success. Done. So now, as you can see, we have actually completed the rule chain. Let's go ahead and apply the changes. As you can see, it's really straightforward and simple and fast to prepare your ML workflow. Just imagine doing this in the traditional way. The amount of code that is required to progress to this stage is going to take you a long time, depending on your skill level, of course, but it will take you up to days, even up to weeks to complete this. And with our system, everything is very, very low code or absolutely no code. As you can see, just drag and drop, and you have completed a fully functional workflow, right? So that's the advantage of our system. That's the best part of it. It's really beginner friendly, right? We can decrease the time that is required for a workflow to go live. So let's go ahead and verify this chain. If you refer back to our documentation, if you scroll down, let's scroll down, and let's see the completed pipeline view and compare it to ours. Yep, it's the same. So we are done. We have done it correctly. So we can go ahead and go to our rule chain page. Let's check it again. Click face detection. Open rule chain. Okay, it's all there. Then we are done with this step. So let's go back to our home page. So from the workflow here, we can see that when we design a new project, we add the rule chain and then add rule chain nodes. So we are done with that. Now we are working on the prototype. So for the prototype, let's start with adding the input profile. Since we already have a default input profile, we don't need to add a new one. Let's go to the input for the next step, and let's add an input. Click add input, add a new input. What's the name? Okay, picture, since we are gonna send in a picture anyway. Picture. The rest can be default. So let's add the picture here. Now our input is done. So how do we actually connect this to our rule chain? We go to the input profile. So we are going to use this because we choose the default input profile for, as you can see, there's a default input profile for this input. So let's go to the input profile. Let's choose the default input profile. All right, as you can see here, under the rule chain is empty. Let's click this pencil, go to the rule chain, select the face detection rule chain, apply changes, and that's it. You're done. Right. So if we refer back, face detection is there. So if you can remember, let's go back to our homepage. In our homepage, we have actually um, reached to the copy access token step. So in this step, it's actually not necessary for us in this use case because we are using a pre-built widget. If you want to use the access token, you can use it to send curl commands or Python scripts to send data. You can check the latest telemetry in the inputs to verify that the data is received. So this is a way for you to connect your IoT devices, your webcam, or send video streams to be processed. But since we are going to use already pre-built widget, we can skip the step of the access token. Okay, so if you are interested in checking the telemetry, you can click your inputs and click latest telemetry, and you'll be able to see if it's you'll be able to verify if any data is received. Okay, so if you can remember on the rule change that I mentioned on the model part, how can we know the input and output of a model, right? If this model part, how can we know the input and output of a model? So how do we know actually is if you already have the model, or if you're interested in the input and outputs of a certain model. So let's say let's say in this case we're talking about face detection model. Let's go and download the model first. Let's wait for the download. Alright, so we have downloaded the model. You have to go ahead and go to netron.app. Right. Once you go to netron.app, you can click open model. You upload the model, and you get a workflow of your AI model. You get a big workflow of your AI model. So in the input section, you can just click the input, and you're gonna have the inputs, the name, input, and the outputs, scores and boxes. And this is what we have used. If you let's go back to our root chain, right? We'll open the root chain. Let's open up the root chain. Let me show you inside the model node what was the input and output. Let's wait. Then the model node. This is the input. The output is boxes and scores, right? Boxes and scores. So that's how you know your input and output for your model. All right. So since we already completed the steps until access token, which we have skipped the access token step. The next step will be serving and shipping your project. We are almost done deploying our model. So first thing first is to create a dashboard and adding widgets into it. So let's go create a dashboard. Let's create a dashboard, add widgets into the dashboard. So let's go to dashboards. Let me close this. Add dashboard, create a new dashboard. Dashboard name, I guess face detection, face detector, face detector dashboard. Let's wait. Okay, let's open up the dashboard. We are now in the dashboard. Let's add widgets. Let's add a new widget. So we're going to add a send image widget and also a show image widget. The image widgets are available under the CSF bundle. So let's start with show image. All right, so we are here now. Let's add, click add the data source. Let's add here. We need to create a new entity, which is picture. Let's create an entity, picture, create new. Filter type is a single entity, right? And entity here can be input, assets, entity views, tenants, customers, or dashboards. In this case, is an input, a picture. So let's input it, and the input will be picture, which we added in the inputs here. Let's add it in. Done. So now we need to add a time series. Let's images, image, and click time series, and click add. Done. So next step is to add the second widget, add a new widget. CSRF, same thing. Now this time it's a send image. Add, you go picture, and then choose image, time series, add. So now let's just resize this. Can we do this? Put this here. Everything is drag and drop. It's super simple to use. This is basically our dashboard ready. Let's click apply changes. So let's look again to our inputs and input profile to verify that everything is done right. Let's go to the inputs. The input is picture, right? This is now. The input profile is default, and let's check the rule chain is face detection. So everything is correct. Let's go back to our dashboard. Click face detector. Let's open up the dashboard. Let's upload an image. Let's use Idris Elba's image. There, and there you go. So our model has successfully detected the image. So as you can see, it's really simple to actually deploy your models using CSF. In a very short time, we have managed to create a complete workflow that is able to serve our model. So let's try with Lee Chong-Wei's face. See. Let's give it some time. There you go. It has detected the face. You can see the green box. So if you feel that the green box is a bit light, you can go to your rule chains and update your bounding box node, right? Your draw bounding box node. You can update it here. You can change the thickness of the bounding box. So as you can see, it's really simple to use. It's very intuitive to use. If you want, you can actually send a video itself using a Python script. As I mentioned before, you can can get the access token and use a Python script to send live videos for face detection as well. So that ends our tutorial for today. I hope through this simple tutorial, you have understood the power of this platform. It's really easy to use. Yeah, as you can see, just in a few minutes, we have managed to complete a full working pipeline. It's really simple to use, but it's highly customizable tool that can solve your AI workflow problems. It's free to use. Yeah, so kindly do refer to the previous video on signing up process and also some introduction to CreatorSuite. So that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Catch you guys on the next one. Bye bye.